see.
We'll interrupt.
Okay, I'll just introduce you quickly. That's Larry, the vice president with the AV equipment. We have our tech team, Steve here and Tom Howland. And let's see, anybody else here? No? Okay, but then Harry Swingland is not here, but we thank them all for their help. And Binky is a, what do we call you?
Helpers.
A helper. She's also, she helps at the tech sessions. She's an Apple pro. So we thank her too. Any needs that you guys have in the tech lab that we need to know about? Things aren't working, things that you would like to see in the lab? Anybody going once, going twice, everything's good? Okay, we did talk about our last meeting. We're thinking about buying 2 new printers, depending on the life of what they have left. We're having an expert come in to go through all the printers, and if he thinks they're on their last legs, we're gonna replace 2 of them. So, and we'll get them all that have multi-use and they'll do everything. And let's see, okay, and we ask you if you're doing any type of special paper in the machines, you know, cardstock or photo paper, that you would please ask us to put it in there. We've had a couple trays broken by people pulling out the trays and putting their own paper in, and we've had to repair a couple of the computers. And we also ask you not to use photo paper that's specifically made for inkjet printers. We only have laser printers in there, and someone had used ink paper in there. So we have a whole stack of photo paper on that table that if you have an inkjet printer at home, please feel free to take that photo paper. Take as much as you want, all of it, but do not use it in our labs and do not use it on any laser printers in your home. It will ruin the machine. Right, Steve? Okay. All right. Larry is going to teach us.
If I can stop this audio from.
Let me know when you're ready, Larry. Larry's going to tell us how to get on this Sunflower website from a computer and also from a mobile device, because it's a little different how you get on.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the audio right now.
While you're doing that, I just wanted to acknowledge Linda, our treasurer. As soon as I sat down, I was like, oh my goodness, she's on the board too. She has great meeting minutes and she has a great dry sense of humor. I enjoy her on the board. Thank you. She's gorgeous.
Okay, first, let me share my screen here on the computer, and I think most of you know how to do the getting on the computer with getting on the website with the computer. So let me see here. I've got a bunch of new stuff up. Okay, to go to our website, if you want to do it in Google search, you can do it there, or I usually just type it up here in the address bar. Just type in Sunflower Living. It should take you there, hopefully. Okay, and then once you're there, you can use these menus at the top. They're drop-down menus. You can use that to maneuver around. You can go to, if you want to go to the clubs, you go down here to clubs at Sunflower, click on that. Then the clubs that have web pages have this blue menu at the bottom. You can just click on that, whichever club you want, and it will take you to that website for that club. And then from there, there's another menu bar down here, blue menu bar that has different pages for each one of those. So you got like membership, resources, you go to YouTube and presentations. If you go there, you can go, it says you can go to the view now. That will take you to our YouTube page that has our previous meetings, tech talks, that type of thing. So that's the way you get around if you go in through a laptop or a desktop computer. I think most of you knew how to do that. So we'll stop that share.
And the only thing you need a password for now is to view the board meetings and the directory, correct?
Correct, and when you go into to view the directory, there's a little trick to it.
Yeah, that's another step that people are struggling with.
Let me go ahead and show you how to do that. You can go to resident information, sunflower directory.
Hey, Larry?
Yes. Oh,
He had signed out, sorry. So before you needed a user ID to sign on to the website, now you just need the password. There's no user ID.
okay, you're back up there again. Okay, so to get to the directory, you go to resident information, go down to sunflower directory, and then it's asking for your password. That is the password they've given you before.
If you don't have it, you can get it at the front desk.
I think I got it right. I did. And I don't want to be saved. Okay, and now what you'll do is you'll scroll down. And if you read that, it says, after the directory is loaded, enter the word sunflower to open it. So what you'll do is you'll hit on view directory and then type in sunflower.
But it says that on there, so you just have to read it. Sometimes people aren't reading the verbiage that says you must have that on there. But that's good if you're a snowbird and you forgot to bring your directory home with you and you want to say, oh, I want to send a card to so-and-so, what's their address? So.
And then what you can do with this is you can download it. It's all searchable. So you can do searches on it by name, by address. You can do all of that.
Do you know how to do a search? Do Control F. And that takes you to find. So say you're looking for a neighbor, but you don't know their last name. Oh, it's so-and-so. Their name is Sharon. You can just type Sharon in there and it'll bring up every Sharon in that directory.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, but it's like, oh, she lives on Desert Miss. Okay, that's her. Or you know the last name, whatever. But that Control F works on all kinds of pages, not just the directory. If you're looking to find a specific word. Control. Yes, Control F. That doesn't work. Yep, fine, Frank, fine.
That's why it's so much better than the paper one, because you can search for every David or Joe or whatever.
Exactly, because I've done that.
Yeah. If you know their address, if you don't know their name, you can find it that way as well.
Yes,
You can get all the information that way.
okay.
So anyway, that's how you get to the directory. That's a little trick with the directory.
Oh, you didn't show your phone yet, right?
No.
Okay.
And everything else on here is pretty much straightforward. That one was just a little funny because it's got that extra password in it. But if you want to see any of the board of directors stuff, you'll need that password for that too. Not the sunflower, but the password you get from the front desk. And that'll get you in there. Now, Let me stop sharing this. And I will bring up my phone. Okay, and there's my screen. There. Okay, and there's Sunflower Home. That's how it'll come up when you first log in on your mobile phone.
Now, Larry, you're doing that through a browser, it's not an app.
Correct, it's through a browser. And so what'll happen is if you won't see any of the blue menus or anything like that on your mobile. So if you want to go to any of those pages, like I showed you before, you click on that three bar up there on the upper right, click on that, and it brings up this menu, this drop-down menu. And in there, it has each page, and then each page, it has this little arrow next to it that's going down. Just like for the tech club. Oh. Get back there again. Okay. Go down to the tech club. And then down here under tech club, it's got about, organization, meetings, all that kind of stuff. Just pick the page you want. Meetings, and that'll give you the information on the meeting. Who the tech talk's gonna be by. You can go there and you can actually log on to the Zoom meeting right from there. You can do all of that. You can go to YouTube, you click on that YouTube icon and it'll take you to the YouTube with all of our videos on it. That's how you get around in here. You click on that three bars up in the corner and it brings that menu up, and then you can select which club you want to look at and what their pages are. So that's how you get around in your mobile phone. It's just a little bit different.
Larry, can you tell me again how you originally get into that sunflower screen?
That screen,
Off the browser.
that screen, you just go into your browser on your phone, like Chrome or whatever browser your phone has.
Right.
You go in there and you put in sunflowerliving.com.
Okay.
It's the same on the phone as it is on your computer.
Larry's gonna write it.
That's not gonna happen. I don't write programs anymore. That's too much work.
Any more questions about that? Thanks, Larry.
Uh-huh.
And then we've had some questions about Kindle devices, and we advise you right now, we don't have an expert on that to go to the library. They have people who will help you, but you can download different apps. You can download the Kindle app onto your phone or to your iPad or to your device. So all your books will go onto your device if you have a Kindle account. Okay. And let's see, in next April, Tom Shambo is going to be talking about home security systems, the Ring doorbell and things like that. And then in May, we have the possibility, if you're interested in having Safeway come back to talk about their app, because that was one of our biggest, other than Tom Hallen's presentation about saving money by, cutting the cord. Safeway has offered to come back again to help people with their devices. Is this something you're interested in or not? You're interested, Gloria? Okay. Either that, if they can't make it on that specific date, I've offered to go through all the different savings apps I have on my phone to save money. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And let's see, in May, we're also going to have elections for the president and the treasurer of the club. So that would be Kana and myself. And if you want to run for either position, let us know. So right now we have Marie Van Huis, who's going to come and talk to us. Marie is a snowbird from Illinois. She's very involved here in sunflower. She's in corral, gardening. She plays tennis. She's a former school teacher, and she's gonna talk to us about online investing. Thanks, Marie.
Thanks for introduction, Liz, and welcome everybody to come out. Thanks for invitation. There's a disclaimer that I am not a professional, and a lot of people know a lot more than I do, and please share this afterwards. This presentation is for our community, for educational purposes only, and does not constitute financial advice. Okay, next slide, please. And even one more. Here are the goals. Learning the basics on online stock market investing, understanding benefits and risks of investing, highlighting resources and tools for informed decisions, and encouraging responsible and safe practices. Excuse me. Next page. Okay, my background on how I got started in investing. I was a secretary assistant legal to a major prestigious law firm in Chicago. We worked in the corporate department, and at that time I learned a lot about big corporations, how they worked, and what they did for stockholders. I had a few shares gifted to me, and I was even able to go to the Securities and Exchange Commission in Washington for the firm. The Securities and Exchange Commission is what the government agency that is a watchdog over what can be sold to individual investors. So it's like not a piece of the blue sky. They have a lot to go through to do this. Okay, I left, of course, to raise a family, 3 boys with my husband, Al, and finished some degrees. I played tennis, and a couple of the side things was one of the players, this wasn't anybody here, Liz,
Okay.
was pretty well heeled. She had a hefty divorce settlement from her doctor husband. And she was an investor, and you know, we talked about it a lot and invited some other women, and we formed an investment club. We met at her house and we researched, and I remember whenever I brought up something that I felt was a good investment, the next day, ring, ring, her broker would call, and he would urge me to buy that stock or buy anything, just to, she was making him money. And the reason was she was having an affair with him. Yes. Okay, and then we had another investment club that had a happy ending. And that was at high school with my colleagues. We did our research, you know, this was pretty serious. And I remember one of the women recommended to buy Amazon. Okay. And I said, Amazon, all they do is sell books. Of course, she was an English teacher, right? Well, if you had bought 1 share of Amazon then, today it would be worth $75,000. 1 share. Our group did well. I bought an investment in Harley Davidson. It was researched, and this was upcoming at the time. And I was able to sell that stock when I retired, and it paid for half of a new Lincoln. So that was a good one. Lastly, a high school experience was USA Today had something in the paper about a stock market game for students. I enlisted and taught my consumer ed students in high school to participate in this game. They tracked the prices, they learned about the basic investing. They even learned how to do fractions because at that time, stock quotes came in eighths. So they had to know what the price was at 20 and 3/8. So what, do you know what the eighths are? 12 and a half. And they, at one time, they were called bits. Like a quarter is how many bits? If you have a quarter, 2 bits, right? So that's 12 and a half, 12 and a half. One day I came into class, this was a class right after lunch, and there was a boy in the back of the room, he was crying. Why? His stock dropped and he was now a loser. But there was no prize. However, I had a prize. Okay, like before that. Another boy brought his mother to parent conference day. He was an Hispanic student and she had limited English proficiency. But she said, Mrs. Van Hughes, I want to thank you so much for helping Carlos, whatever his name was, to teach him about investing. I am going to let him manage all my money. Whoa. Good job. Good luck. And then I had a bonus for doing this. I was invited to be a guest of the New York Stock Exchange at the cost of the New York Stock Exchange. And Fidelity offered to sponsor me for $1,000 to cover expenses. So that's my background in investing. Next page. I'm going to go over understanding the basics of investing, and this is getting not for experienced investors, but you can help me out. Next page. Okay, the basic concept of investing in the market is to make money. And here we have Grandpa saying, and furthermore, boy, pennies saved but never invested are lazy GD pennies. The graphics, I have some of the graphics are cartoons from the New Yorker. Next page. Okay, stocks, mutual funds, index funds, ETFs, these are all things that you can do online. Mutual funds are, excuse me. Mutual funds are groups of stock that somebody puts together in a major company, and it kind of spreads the risk out. The index funds are a group of different sectors, different industries, or different ideas to invest in the market. Mutual funds are traded, you can only usually invest in them and buy and sell at the end of the day. However, stocks, you can do any minute, and same with the index funds. And the last one are exchange traded funds, which are groups of stock also. And they're again, they are low expenses. So this is a kind of a safe way. You can diversify this way. You don't have all your eggs in one basket. All of these, the stocks in this group pay dividends. You can share in the growth. They're easy to follow, especially online. And you can temper your risk and reward. Sometimes when I get closer to this, is it easier to hear me or does it not matter?
No, it's.
Get closer.
I hear you, right there.
Okay. Okay, next page. Okay, this is a chart of the
That's pretty big.
what goes on in one day trading on the Dow Jones Index and the red, the green, of course. And I'll talk about the indexes at the bottom. These are the major groups. which people follow, and they compare, you can compare your results to whatever is going on. Basically, the Dow Jones is a group of 30 stocks. It started out as they were major industrial companies, oils, railroads, but now technology, healthcare, and everything else is combined. They add up the closing price, how much each one was worth at the end of the day or instantly, and divide by 30. Okay, the next one is one of the larger ones. It's called the S&P 500. And those are the largest US companies, 500 of them. And the last one, which is really kind of exciting and making people doing very well, mostly technology companies and a lot of smaller companies. It's called the NASDAQ, or they have a name for the funds, QQQs. And okay, I think that's it. Major indexes and how to gauge your investments. Next page. The other thing to help you out with your risk reward is to invest in bonds. And your broker and your managed investments will have you invest in bonds as a safety measure. The older we get, the more they're going to tell us to invest in savings bonds, because you get a specific return. It's like a loan to a company or the government or municipalities. They're more stable, less risky, longer term returns, and fixed dates of returns. So you can kind of ladder them and know when you're going to need the money. Next page. Okay, this is something out of the Arizona Star, our daily paper, and I kind of like to read it. A lot of people do because they can follow things along, like Safeway, Mr. Car Wash, and popular stocks. Okay, one that you followed was down on the bottom. It's called UNP, Union Pacific. Has anybody heard of that railroad? You bet we have. It runs right along I-10, and we used to see it when we were driving from Illinois, loaded with things going to Mexico and coming from Mexico. Okay, and so I thought, this is probably a good investment, right? Okay, well, it is now my Trump dump. When Trump decided to embargo or prohibit trade with Mexico as one of his threats, not political, I immediately sold the stock at $75. It is now, according to Lacewood, was $250. So what is the lesson here? What did I do? I panicked. Okay, and I panicked. I can't really help you with that. That's kind of a personal thing. Types of investment accounts. Next page. Okay, you have brokerage accounts that a broker will manage, and you have ones that are self-directed. Some of the examples are IRAs, which are retirement accounts, which I guess most of us aren't interested in that. You have to have earned income to invest in an IRA. The other ones that they use are 401ks, other employer-sponsored plans, and minor and college plans. And there's a picture of one of it wasn't my broker and it wasn't my friend's broker. And he is saying to me, look at me, do I look worried? So obviously with his big cigar and everything, he is not worried. Next page. Okay, benefits in leveraging and using the internet for research. You can use popular websites. They're popular for a reason. Yahoo, Google, Morningstar. You can tell me if you have favorites. You can get your stock quotes immediately, news analysis, company websites, and filings with the government, the SEC. Companies can do a lot of investment reports. They show the PE ratio. The PE ratio is the price of the stock and comparing it to how much that one share can earn for you. They show you the earnings per share, which is not a ratio, it's just outright. It shows you yields. Okay, one thing many of us like are dividends. They enable us to have a beautiful home in Sunflower and do a lot of other things we want to do. This is called yield. So you can find out if a company has any yield or if they have a large dividend percentage. And by the way, sometimes the higher the dividend, I mean, like one of the companies is paying 11%. Is that too good to be true? Probably. You can see the market capitalization. How big is this company? You don't want to invest in something too little. And you also look if they have a lot of debt. Have they been buying another company? Are they paying high interest? So if they have a lot of debt, you want to avoid those probably. But this is not advice. Okay, next slide will show you how much, or we'll show you some examples of brokers that are online. And however, these brokers have paid a fee or something to get their name published. And the headings are how much, well, Nerd Wallet, that's the investment. The Nerd Wallet is the investment part that I looked at. And they give you a rating of 5 stars, which you can ignore. What you should not ignore, however, is the fees that you will be charged for this to open. But it doesn't tell you if it charges what other fees it charges or how they make more money, how they make their money. I've made copies of this chart and we have handouts so you can kind of use that as a guide. But again, remember that the firms have paid a remuneration. Oh, another thing when you should check on the inline is this brokerage house financially stable. There's a couple new ones here that are listed. SoFi is a newer one, and Robinhood and other types of more speculative type, but you know, have fun. Next page. Okay, here are a few hints for managing risks. There's a safety in numbers, so don't put all your stock in one basket. You need to diversify among other sectors. These are stock market segments, technology, healthcare, finance, utilities, energy, and so on and so on. You can use a stop losses and stops for gains. Some people will say, if I've made 30% of an investment, that's pretty good. And they will use a stop that the minute that hits that target, that stock is gone. It's sold and you've got money in your bank, money in your portfolio, go out and spend it, save it, share it. The other thing is a familiar loss of 7% can be stopped. If a stock drops 7% of your initial investment, you're out of there. And with the online investing, you can make watch lists for your investments, and you can even do a paper trading. You can do a simulated trading, see how you do. Next page. Okay, the online brokerage platforms have some key features to consider. Their fees, the account types, your investment options, and the ease of use. And some of the more popular ones, and you can share anything that you use, are Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard. And we'll add a few more later. One thing about the Vanguard, they have a fantastic blog, which is almost kind of like an investment club. You can share hints, you can see what other people are talking about. But do consider looking at the Vanguard blog. I think it's something about Bogle, who was one of the first a famous investor. You can use it to search for offers, and this is kind of neat. Gee, I can't remember the years, but a lot of savings and loans in Illinois were offering premiums if you open a savings and loan account. Toasters. Okay, a lot of people got a lot of toasters by opening account. Well, I did the thing about searching for premiums in, before I invested in an account. I went to Bank America, and this is no, I'm not recommending them, but you will see there that $600, they offered $600 if you opened a new account. So, yeah, money out of Fidelity or money from the bank and open an account with Bank America. E-Trade, they had a better deal. They gave me a latest Bose radio with CD players and all the speakers. So that was a pretty good deal too, I thought, from E-Trade. Next. Okay, here's another deal. And this is the last deal I have. You'll have to find your own. Okay, Schwab is giving investors, if you open an account with them, they will give you $100 worth of stock, evenly divided, $100 worth of stock, evenly divided among the 5 largest companies. Right now, what are some of those companies? What do you think?
Microsoft.
Microsoft is one, sure.
Amazon,
Apple,
Amazon, Tesla.
Tesla, no, I don't know, well, it may be, it varies every month to see who is largest. I think, there was another, tech stock, NVIDIA, I think was the name, and, probably Amazon, and Intel, not Intel, well, whatever, they change. My grandson, and you might want to think about this too, for the kids, a $50 gift will get them a $100 investment and to get them started. And you also get their Investing 101 beginner learning kit. So that's from Schwab. Okay, the ending of this will be in safety and security. And here we have a young man sitting at his desk with a supervisor saying, I don't get it. Last time I jiggled the mouse this way, we made a 16% profit, okay, from jiggling a mouse. So don't jiggle your mouse. Protecting. This is serious, folks. This is serious. Strong passwords. Multi-factor authentication, more than one use. Phone, E-Trade even has a different authentication device. I guess for people who don't have phones or can't use them. You have to remember to avoid phishing scams. When you search for things, you just might get a lot of ads. Don't click on them. Often they can be just one letter away from the real site. Be real careful about that. Data security and encryption is offered by many of the firms. And be wary of investment scams and get rich quick schemes. beware of hot tips. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay. Beware of hot tips. Here's the doctor saying, try this. I just bought 100 shares. What's he doing? He's telling them to buy stock in, or to use this medication because he bought 100 shares. That's a hot tip too. Okay, questions and discussions?
Do you have something? Oh, go ahead.
Are there any sites that you prefer over others?
Okay, say that again, please.
Are there any sites on the web that you prefer over others?
Yes, on my phone, I like Yahoo Finance because I have my watch list on the phone, Yahoo Finance. I check E-Trade. Because I like the way that they sort and they give me hints as to what's going on. I like the Merrill Lynch account, because I can make a lot of hypothetical investments. And I have about 10 different sectors that I watch. A sector being, I can see what all the oil stocks are doing, what the healthcare, what the financial stocks are doing. So those are some of my favorites. How about you folks? Anything that you have a favorite?
Yeah, I use Fidelity.
Which one?
Fidelity.
Fidelity, yeah. I think Fidelity is very good about their research. They have excellent research and you could spend a lot of time with them. Thank you for that.
I know just Googling, interest rates on savings accounts. You get a list of things and you just start going through them. We just moved money from Discover to Synchrony Bank because it was 1% more.
Okay.
Money that we have, not laying around, but emergency cash type stuff.
Okay, so,
And there's no fee to close one account and move it here and there, and you can do it all online once you get it set up.
okay, managing your cash.
Yeah.
And seeing who's paying the best rate on your cash that you have in hand. Thank you. Mhm. Yes,
I find that like Schwab, I can get a much better CD rate through Schwab than I can on my own.
okay. The different brokers and different accounts pay you money on the cash that you have in that account and that you sold something and then you have $20,000 or $10,000. And your brokers will pay you. Thanks for sharing. Schwab pays a higher rate. I think Merrill Lynch pays peanuts, just like, it's not very good unless you have 100,000 in cash. Well, that's not for all of us. Thank you. Okay, I think that's it. We have handouts of that brokerage chart, and I encourage you to do your own to see what's available.
Thanks, Marie. And as always, we welcome suggestions for tech talks. What do you want to hear about? You know everything? That's fabulous. Well, what smart people we have here. Yes, Sandra.
I mentioned at the last meeting about having someone from the library come.
Right, Pato is looking into that. She has not heard back from, the question was asked, can we have somebody from the library come and make presentations? But they haven't gotten back to us yet. Anything else that you're interested in learning, hearing about? What do you know, what do you want to learn more about? Yes.
I'd like to learn places, are there places around where you can go and learn about some of the programs like Word or Excel.
Okay, Sandra asked, is there anywhere we can go where we can learn about programs such as Word? And I think Larry's gonna answer that for her.
I wasn't, but I will. You can actually,
Why
you can go on the computers in the lab. And there's, two different places you can go there. There's icons on the main screen when it starts. GCF University, I believe is one of them, or GCF Global is one of them. And then there's another one there. And what they do is the global one will actually teach on all different subjects. They cover everything. Not just computer programs, not just technology, they cover everything. And then there's, the other one is through AARP, and they have classes the same way, they're online classes that teach you how to use different programs and that type of thing. You can do that. That's the only ones I know about, I don't know of anybody.
And I think that's in the drop-down menu, isn't it? The GFC University, whatever it's called.
Actually, it's
In
on.
the Tech Club?
Yeah, if you go to the Tech Club's website, there's also links to it there. So if you're at home, you can get on the website and look at it, and it'll take you to them as well.
Right.
Larry, do you know if AARP does the in-person training in Tucson? They advertise, they talk about it a lot in your magazine, and I don't know if they do it at the center here or not.
They do at times, when they have people that are trained in that instruction, they do it.
Okay.
We tried to get them to come in here and do a scam one for us, but they didn't have anybody trained to do it, so we did it ourselves. They
Yeah,
gave us a slide presentation and we did it ourselves.
they have a lot up in the Phoenix area.
Right.
They were gonna train somebody to do the scam presentation, but we never heard back from her, so I just did it with Larry and Tim.
But they do a few programs down here, I'm just not sure what
Yeah.
programs they have.
But if you see anything over there that you think would work well here, and we could do it, let us know.
Well, I know Sandra's looking for, I think, a classroom. Here's the computer, here's Word on it, somebody that can come over and say, do this, do this. And AARP, when they talk about it in the magazine, that's what they're set up to do, but they have to be doing it.
And I'm not sure that how they do it here, if they probably do if they're one down on Broadway, their center down there. They probably have some sort of a setup to do that, but I don't know what their schedule is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to a couple that were around Tucson for something else like this, but I just wanted to refresh.
And I don't know, the university may have something as well, I'm just not sure. That'd be a place we'd have to check and see if they do programs like that.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You need help with your-